Hello everyone. We'll get started here in just a minute. Gonna give a few more people an opportunity to sign in. I feel like I've got a shadow going on tonight. The weather's kind of bad here. All right, so tonight I want to talk about some of my spring pops of color, but I want to start with a little bit of what I'm going to call a rant. And I've had this conversation with 3 other YouTubers, and I've not asked for permission or anything to mention them or to share the conversation, but I'm going to share. So I've had a conversation with Pauline Newman. I've had this conversation with Ivana, and I've also had this conversation with Joshi about monetization of our YouTube channels. And I know that this community kind of has mixed feelings, I think, about whether or not you should or should not monetize your channel and what your intentions are behind monetization. And I guess I'm a little bit old school in this regard. And that is, I'm a firm believer that time is money. Business degrees, having owned my own business, being in a professional environment, working for a Fortune 500 company, time is money. And the time that I spend, or that YouTubers just in general spend on YouTube, whether that's uploading video, whether that's creating content, it can be editing content, it can be audience or subscriber interaction, that takes away from time that you could be doing other things. And rest assured that there are, if I just took a poll, and we've got about 15 people right now that signed in, and I just want to see, I just want to kind of see a casting of votes. If you, those of you, 16 of you that are on watching live right now, 17 of you watching live right now, if you have ever watched a YouTube video of any kind, and after watching that video, you made a purchase, you purchased the item that you watched that YouTuber, blogger, vlogger, etc. share their reviews on, whether it's Dooney, whether it's cosmetics, whether it's a watch, whether it's clothes, shoes, whatever. If you have ever purchased an item based on the research that you have done on YouTube, I want you to just respond yes. Just type in the comments, because I think that you will make the point for me. So I'm just going to watch the comments. If you have ever purchased an item based on what you've seen on YouTube, just vote. So it looks like 19 people are on live chat, and I would dare to say that probably 16 of you have already voted. And every single one of them was a yes. That's the reason that I've monetized my channel. It's because whether it is a purchase from someplace else, whether it's QVC, whether it's Dooney, whether it's me sharing something that I've picked up at the grocery store, whether it's a subscription box, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's an experience, whether it's something that I've purchased on Groupon, or an experience that I've purchased on Groupon, a movie. It doesn't matter what it is. These companies are making money off of me spending my time and money sharing that with you. And remember, business degrees, law school, Fortune 500 company, having owned my own business, understanding that time is money, that's the reason that I've monetized my channel. Not only that, is because previously monetization was a thing on YouTube. Everyone was allowed to do it. And now, as the platform continues to grow, there are all different kinds of restrictions, but it doesn't keep an advertiser from showing up those little ads that show up on your YouTube page. So even if you don't allow advertisers to put an ad at the beginning of your video, at the middle, or at the end, whether they're pop-ups, even if you haven't given them permission to do that, your viewers are still going to see ads based on their cookies, based on their searches. YouTube is still using that data. So if I'm going to invest my time, if I'm going to expose you because you're following me to advertising companies tracking what you're doing anyway, why shouldn't I get something out of that? So that's my soapbox for the start of this chat. But I just wanted to get that out there because it kind of rubs, to each his own. If that's not your thing, if it's a hobby for you, then that's great. Bag collecting is a hobby for me, but my time has a value to it. And I've just always been a firm believer that if people are going to make money off of you, then you should make money off of what you're doing. Not one of us. I love what I do from a professional standpoint. I love it. But I would not do it for one single day for my company for free. I work for myself, but I am not going to give of my time, my talents, my effort, my energy to an entity that is going to make money off of me and I not benefit from that. So if you're curious, if you decide that you want to unsubscribe because of that philosophy, then hey, I'm not here to judge you. You do what you want to do. What I will tell you is that the one thing that I have been gifted, which was that Clipper, I'm completely transparent about if something has been gifted or given to me. I'm very upfront about that, but I work every single day to earn an income to pay for the purchases and the things that I talk about on my channel. And if it is otherwise, then I have clearly stated that. So you don't have to worry about whether or not I'm being honest, because I'll tell you, even if I spend my own money on it, I'll tell you in a heartbeat whether I don't like it or not. I'll tell you in a heartbeat, I probably abused my Florentine because it's my Florentine. I bought it. It's mine. I can carry it in the snow, in the rain, if I want to treat it, if I don't want to treat it. And that is the beauty of you having your personal taste, having your own collection, being able to decide what works for you, is that in this space, you're not accountable to other people when it comes to how you spend your money in this space. I don't have to give an account to another YouTuber about how I spend my money and what I like and what I don't like. We're here, and I love that we're a small group because we can talk, we can share, and just because something doesn't work for somebody else doesn't mean that it won't work for everybody, or that it gives you the right to smash what somebody else likes or what they want. And I've noticed I've blocked a few people and unsubscribed from others that to me just have a nasty, demeaning attitude when it comes to handbags or what they like or what they don't like or what works for them, or making comments that to a weaker person, to a person that's not maybe as vocal, would decide that maybe I don't like that as much. Maybe it isn't for me because it isn't for that person. No, if you like it, if it's your color, if it's the leather you like, if it's the weight, if it's the shoulder drop, if it's the center zip, if it's you don't have to give an account to anyone else in this community about what you like and what you don't like. Now, for those people that take offense, to monetization of channels, for people that try to bully other people in the comments, comment gangsters, there's not a space for you on my channel. Would I like for my channel to grow? Absolutely. I would love to. But it's fun for me. I'm enjoying the community. I'm loving the interaction. I buy what I want with my money. If I can share with you what I like or dislike about a product, the very thing that I dislike may be the thing that you love about a bag, and it helps you to make a more informed decision about how you decide to spend your money. And if that's the case, then I not only feel good about being able to share, but it also helps you from a consumer standpoint to be able to buy things that you're less prone to return. So I'm going to get off of my soapbox because I can only imagine what the comments are because they just keep rolling in. But I know that that's not what you came here tonight for. But for the last couple of weeks, again, Pauline Newman and I have had this conversation over and over again. Ivana and Joshie and I have had this conversation as we're planning the meetup in Chicago next month. And it has just weighed on me because some of the comments that I see from people, and I have a couple of people in mind, but I'm not going to go there, that just seem to be nasty in their comments. And there's no other way for me to describe it but nasty in the way that they respond to people when they find something that they like, or it's a color, or whether it's a print, or whether it's a brand. They just feel like that's their opportunity to make snide remarks, and that's not me. If someone, case in point, you have probably seen me comment on black bags, that it's a nice bag. Just because that's not my color of preference doesn't mean that it's not a nice bag. It just means that it's not for me, or that I wouldn't have purchased it for my collection just because you all know how I feel about black bags. But that doesn't mean that I dislike the bag, and it doesn't mean that I get to tell somebody else that it's an ugly bag because it's black. No, if I don't like it, so what? It's not my bag. I didn't spend my money on it. I don't have the right to infringe on what you've decided to your happiness around your purchase. And there are some people, and I have blocked them and I have unsubscribed, and I will continue to do that in my space, that feel like they get to do that, and you don't get to do that on here. You don't get to do that. And if I never grow because I'm that honest, and because that's the expectation that I have for the interaction for this channel, then so be it. I will continue to buy bags. I will continue to share. I will continue to unsubscribe. I will continue to block people so that this space is one where true bag lovers can share their opinions, their comments, their interactions, sales, bag information, can share that with each other and feel like it's a safe space to do so. All right, y'all. That's all I've got on that. But what I do have, I'm sure you're wondering, does she have any pops of color in her collection other than red? And I do. And what I noticed as I was preparing for this video this afternoon is that a lot of those bags I have not carried. And I am going to make a commitment that this spring, summer season, that I am going to venture out a bit more and explore the pops of color in my collection other than red. Now, red is not going anywhere. That red, I mean, it flows through my veins. Red is my color. The decorations in my house, almost every room has red or something red in it. It's my favorite color. So red is not going anywhere. But I do want to share with you some of the other pops of color and some of the rare bags or rare colors, hard to find colors, that I have in my collection, because it was the beginning of the season when I suggested that I do, or what are you carrying this spring, or what are your pops of color. And it's taken me a little bit to kind of dig those bags out that I really wanted to share. So enough of me rambling, let's get right into it. Y'all know how I feel about pink. It's pink, red, right? All day long, I'm going to go with the red option. But there is this little bag called a Kingston Hobo, and I have it in the color violet. Brand new, still, you see that? Never carried, never fully unwrapped, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I really have been on the fence about selling this bag, like just gonna list it on, like, I don't know, eBay or something, and let the bidding start. But what I realized, and you can probably see it even more under the lights, is this bag has purple undertones to it. So I'm going to give it credit for being more purple than it is pink. That it has more of a, I'm going to say that it's deep like a red. And I finally have some shoes now that will match it. So I've thought about getting rid of it, but I know it would get scooped up in like a heartbeat on eBay. And I know that at the full price of $3.98, someone would absolutely be willing to pay that for it. But I've worked really hard to get bags in my collection that really make it a collection. There's some, and again, it's what you like. It's your preference, right? So if your bag is the Kingston Hobo, if you have identified that this style bag is your favorite Dooney and Bourke bag, and you have decided to purchase it in every single color under the sun, then guess what? That's what you buy for your collection. My personal collection is to have variety in my bag style, in the bag media, in the bag colors, and that for me is what defines my collection. So that is the Kingston Hobo in the color violet. And let me just see, I still have my receipt here to just tell you how long I've had this one in my collection. It's right over 4 years. I bought this on April the 7th, 2014. April 7th, 2014. So I've had this bag in my collection now for an entire 4 years. It is still wrapped in brand new condition. Has a little bit of texture there on the back, but it's the back of the bag. And I'm going to break it out for this year because it's not a baby pink. There's nothing wrong with baby pink or powder pink. It's just not a color preference for me. The same way some people won't do red, or some people won't venture away from a black bag, or the same way some people have concerns about bone or white. That is just, pink is just one of those things that just, it doesn't do anything for me. Although there are a couple of blush bags right now in the Alto collection that are calling my name, but I have refrained from it because it's pink. And I know good and well it's just going to sit in the Dooney vault, and I will look at it and think, why did I buy it? It's pink, and at some point I'll end up needing to sell it or gifting it. So I'm just gonna hold on to violet. So that's one bag that I will be carrying for the warm weather months of 2018. The next bag that I have, you have actually seen this one on my channel before. I'm trying to get the tie open on the Dooney bag right now. But you have seen this one, and I have carried it, and it is time for me to pull it out again. You see that? This is the medium, and it's in the color lavender, and I love this bag. It doesn't matter when I carry it or what I'm wearing. It gets tons and tons of compliments, and it's all soft and squishy, and I love it. And I have carried it more on like the weekends and trips away, but it is just different, right? So I've shared with you that I've switched jobs, and I'm in a uniform now, and I thought that I was going to absolutely hate it, but it has so simplified my life. You guys are going to kill me, but I've worked 18 years in industry where I could wear what I wanted. Sandals in the summertime, boots, up to my knees in the winter if that's what I wanted to do. And now with an organization that has a strict dress code for everyone, from the CEO of the company down to housekeeping, there's a dress code. And I thought I was going to hate it, but I have found that I have more disposable income because I'm not constantly trying to buy stuff to wear to work or new stuff to wear to meetings or to training. It has simplified my footwear so that when I do have something that I need to buy something for, it's fun now for shopping, right? So before, I think I was shopping out of necessity because it's like, okay, I've worn those 5 outfits to work and those 5 to work and those 5. And people are messy at work too. They keep track of what you're wearing and what you're not, and all of that stuff. So now I don't have to worry about that. So when I go to the mall and I'm looking for something, I'm going for something specific, or I'm going for an event. And I didn't think that I would ever get into that rhythm from a retail standpoint. But it's also leaving me more money to buy Doonies and to explore what I really like in my collection. So I love this bag. This bag, some of the colors that are in, I have, for example, my black. Yep, I have the medium satchel in black, and it is beat up to death because at one point it was my everyday bag, but I've had it for so long that it actually has the leather key keeper and the gold hardware. That's how long I've had that bag. But that also tells you that this is a classic Dooney style because it's been around long enough that it has run the gamut of colors and that it has survived the evolution of the key leash. So that is another beauty that I will be carrying. I carry this every year, but I just can't bring myself to make it an everyday bag because to me it's too rare of a color to be everyday, but I love it. So I'm trying to figure out, I've got to travel this week again for work. I've got to go back to Virginia, and I'm trying to decide what I'm going to carry because it will be kicked under the seat on the plane. And typically Florentine, if I carry it, then I'm going to put it overhead, and I always go to sleep. So I don't like the idea that if I'm asleep that someone can get up in flight and have access to, all of my stuff while I'm knocked out. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to carry this week for travel. But I want to share, I've got 3 more bags over here. So this next one is another rare color. And the funny thing is Dooney has brought this color back this season, but it looks completely different than what I'm going to call the original. And I have the original salmon color in the domed buckle satchel. Never carried. Absolutely stunning. The buckles are even still wrapped. Do you see that? Gorgeous Florentine. Handle still wrapped. This is why I consider myself to be a bag collector. Not all my bags look the same. They aren't all red. They aren't all black. They aren't all from the same collection. They aren't from there. That to me, for me, again, you don't have to worry about justifying to me what you have in your collection. It's your collection. But for me, this is what spring is all about. These are colors that are absolutely gorgeous. What do I normally carry during the summer? I've got some colored bags. I didn't bring them all up for tonight's conversation, but I'm usually in red, or I will go to coated cotton, or even my canvas bags, and carry the bags that are lighter weight, just because you're already hot, it's sticky, you're miserable, and the last thing I need is a heavy bag weighing me down. But I need to get over that for this summer, because otherwise all of this beautiful Florentine will continue to stay in the Dooney vault. So I need to get that stuff out. Yeah, Brittany, I'm going way deep in the Dooney vault tonight. So I have another one, and this one is probably what I'm thinking about, because my company colors have this mustardy yellow color to it, and this sunflower Buckley in Florentine. Y'all know how I feel about a Buckley. This to me is one of the best silhouettes from a drawstring or bucket or dump bag that I think Peter Dooney has ever created. And I have my fingers crossed, just hoping and praying that it's going to come back in red, because I never found one that I decided to keep. So I don't have a red one in my collection, but I love this style because I can carry it by the handles. I can carry it over the shoulder. It has the drawstring that I can keep tight. It doesn't wiggle its way down because it has that little stitch down the middle that keeps the drawstring from being loose and sliding on its own. I love the detailing in the piping all around the bag that gives you that great contrast. I love the fact that it has feet on the bottom to protect that gorgeous leather. And most importantly, and I know people sometimes have mixed feelings about the drawstring being on the inside of the bag, but if you have ever watched a QVC presentation and seen Sue Clifton with the Hattie or any other drawstring bag, and she draws it tight at the top and then flips it over to show you the top to see that it's only the top of the bag that is closing, that is without having that looping detail on the outside with you're constantly rubbing the leather, pulling it open and closed in and out, in and out. I love this bag because it does that looping detail in the inside, so that drawstring is only in the inside, and there is less wear and tear, in my opinion. For me and my bags, there is less wear and tear on the leather closure for this bag when it's on the inside, as opposed to the leather being looped on the outside of the drawstring. And then you have the sun, the moisture, your hands. To me, the leather just seems to age better in the Buckley for the drawstring because it's protected in the inside of the bag. So I just really, really like this. And of course you can tell I've carried it. She's been open and she doesn't have tags and all that stuff on her because I love this one. And I just hope that it comes back. A lot of the bags in Florentine, or not Florentine, but just in previous collections have reappeared, right? So I'm just hoping that as Peter is going back through the design vault, that the Buckley, which is not too far gone from the market, but that it will reappear. Can you imagine the Buckley in like the original salmon or the original lavender, or even in an orange? Oh, that is like, that would be perfect. This to me is like the satchel, right? It should just be available all the time in a million different colors, never goes away, because if you have ever carried a Buckley, then you understand the love for this bag. I can't say enough about it. And if you don't know my love for Buckley, then I would encourage you to go back in my videos and look at the attempts that I had trying to find the perfect red Florentine Buckley bag. And as I look back at those videos myself, there were a few of those bags that as I look at them now, it's like, it wasn't that bad. It was on the back, or it was on the bottom, or, you know, it would have been unique based on the height. And I should have kept at least 2 of those, but I didn't, because I was in pursuit for a perfectly smooth, evenly dyed, which I don't think is too much to ask for, red, and I never found it. So I have this one. I have natural, which I have worn to death, and I know I've had a request to show how that one has patinaed, and the fact that I've used it as an umbrella. And as I'm digging bags out, we're probably going to do a full Saturday, Sunday chat on just my natural Buckley and what it looks like. And I'm going to remind you of this video, right? I'm not telling you to use your Florentine Buckley bag or any Florentine bag as an umbrella. But in Pensacola, Florida, when you're caught out in the middle of a rainstorm and you don't have an umbrella and you're on your way to work, and your natural hair does curly cues when it gets wet, you will use whatever you have for an umbrella. And so I used my Buckley, and she dried. She was soaking wet. There wasn't an inch of her that was dry, but I think it helped the patina process. You do what you do with your bags, right? The point that I made, if you started at the beginning when I was on my rant, is it's your bag. You do with it what you want. Don't be influenced by this community. You can take the best of what you learn and just implement that. But just because somebody says they don't use a particular kind of conditioner, I've purchased the Apple brand conditioner, but have I ever used it on a bag? No, I haven't. But that's just my preference. It's because I found it, right? Going back to the beginning of the video, I bought it because I was influenced by the community. That's what all of the Dooney addicts were using to condition their bags. So I fell into the hype of it. I bought it. I've never used it. I use the Kiwi leather lotion conditioner. I've used Bic. Why the Kiwi leather conditioner? Because I can find it at Walmart and Target, because that's what I grew up with, just doing light leather treatments on handbags and on my leather coats and things like that. So it's your preference, right? So don't be influenced. Don't think that because you've decided to do something different with your bag, your collection, that you're wrong because you're in this community of people that say you shouldn't do it. It's your bag. Do what you want with it. It's your bag. It's your bag. And if you don't believe me that the hype is real on YouTube about what you should and shouldn't like, just start watching the Sephora VIB spring sale is going on right now, and all of the big YouTubers, even the small ones, they've got these VIB purchase recommendations going on right now. Or go back and see what their favorites were for 2017. If those things don't influence you to like, oh, well, I didn't like that particular palette, there must be something wrong with me, I'm going to buy it and add it to my collection. No, you didn't like it for a reason. And just because somebody else likes it doesn't mean that you should get sucked into the hype. So bag collections, that's the same way. Whether you're a video gamer, same way. Whether it's some of these ridiculous challenges and all, look, more so I think now than any other time in the history of mankind, do you have the freedom to be an individual. You can do what you want, wear what you want. There's no such thing now as in season, out of season. There's no such thing as white before or after Easter or before or after Labor Day. You wear what you want. You buy what you want. Life is too short for you to limit yourself by the limited opinions and impressions of other people. Life is too short. So, my last beauty, and then I'm going to go back through the comments because I know that this has probably been an interesting chat tonight. But it is another medium satchel. And I didn't realize until just now that everything that I have tonight is Florentine. So this is another Florentine chat. But it is Orange is the New Black. And it is the medium Florentine satchel in orange. And she has, and I don't know if you can see it, but she has tiger stripes on her butt, on her back. And I love this. So I purchased, and it was a this or that video that I did probably now 2 summers ago. And what I did was I featured summer sandals and shoes that I was going to wear with some of my bags. And some of them I was asking, should I pair this bag or this shoes with this or with that? That was the intent behind that series, and I probably need to do it again. But this was one of the bags that I shared. And what I did was I purchased a pair of Mark Fisher sandals, leather sandals in the color orange. Absolutely love them. And I had a couple of orange bags that I had in my collection to show those with. So orange is absolutely the new black, and I went through an orange phase where this was one of the pops of color that I wanted and that I was wearing. But I had another orange bag that honestly I liked a little bit more than pulling this one out because the shoulder strap on this one is just so long, and I hadn't figured out at the time how to shorten it. So I didn't carry this one. I carried the other bag that I had in orange. But now that I'm going to break her out, I'm really, really liking her. So I've got a lot in the vault that still has the tags on it and the wrapping on it. And I've just got to do a better job myself about enjoying my collection. I am setting a bag limit on what I take with me to Chicago for our meetup, because I know that the whole point of that is to buy bags. But I'm also going to set a budget for what I purchase from Dooney and Bourke while I'm there to bring back. So we have lots of people that have expressed interest in the meet and greet next month. We are about 6 weeks out, and I'm really excited about that. I have enjoyed the time. What I'd like to do is hear your thoughts, especially if you'd like this to be an annual meet and greet, right? So we just pick another location for 2019, the weekend before Memorial Day, and we just take off to a different part of the country, meet and greet, see each other, shop, and get to check out all of the Dooney and Bourke locations. So I'm weird in that on my bucket list, don't judge me, on my bucket list, I have that I want to visit every single Dooney and Bourke outlet store. So whether they're opening new stores or whether they're already, existing, my goal is to hit all of them. And I'm probably a little bit embarrassed, and I won't tell you how many I've been to because it's more than any one person should go to. But I think that sometimes maybe there's a theme to this conversation tonight, right? So your bucket list, my bucket list there's some retail things on there. There's some experiences. There are some trips. There are some concerts. There are some team events. There are some family things that are on my bucket list in addition to accomplishments. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to, go, to see the Eiffel Tower, although it's on my bucket list. But I'm just saying your bucket list can be whatever you decide it to be. So even if this isn't an annual thing, that's not going to change the fact that I'm on a quest to visit all of the stores. It's just like I have friends that are sports fanatics, particularly baseball and football, that want to visit every professional NFL stadium, attend a game, or to visit every NFL stadium. I have another friend whose goal, and he's about through, is to visit every baseball stadium. That's an interest for him. That's on his bucket list. That's something that he is actively working to do. And whether he's traveling personally or for business or whatever, he has that in the back of his mind. And if there's a way for him to squeeze in an opportunity to go to a stadium or to go take a picture at a stadium in front of the sign, or if that particular stadium is offering a tour of its facilities, then that's something that's on his list to do. So visiting all the stores, Dooney and Bourke stores, outlets, that's on my list. So even if it's not an annual thing, it's just me sharing with you that it's on my list. It's one of the things that I'm actively working to do. And as I go through my collection and as I've hit different outlets, I can remember the experience of going into the store and spending hours in the store trying to decide what I'm going to purchase. And I can remember that visit to that particular store because of what I was able to bring home. So I'm weird like that. So we have that coming up in 6 weeks. Want to know if you're interested in making it an annual trip. There have been a few people, in the I've had some emails and things like that where people have said, hey, I would really like to, let me know if you're going to have another one, etc., etc. And that's great. But one of the things, and we'll do that. We will absolutely do that in the future. But I don't want anyone to think that we just threw the weekend together. We moved weekends around. We took into consideration the weather in Chicago. We took into consideration, expenses like if your property taxes or if income taxes, if you had to pay things back or if you were going to be receiving income, bonus time. We took into consideration a lot of things, and we wanted to make sure that we gave people a lot of time to prepare, because I think we started talking about this in late January, maybe early February. We announced in March, and our whole thought process by announcing in March was thinking, hey, if people need to budget for this event, then maybe you buy your ticket in the month of March. Maybe in April, you go ahead and secure and pay for your hotel room. And by doing it at the end of May, you could maybe have saved a little bit of money, maybe $50 or $75 or whatever it is per pay period, so that by the time we got to the end of May, you would have a little bit of disposable income to be able to actually get to Chicago and enjoy it. So I don't want anyone to think that, you know, Joshi works every day, Ivana works every day, I work every day. We are regular people just like everyone else that's watching. You have family obligations, you got mortgages and rent and car payment, and you got to eat and, you know, all those other things. So I don't want anyone to think that we jumped into planning the meet and greet haphazardly, because we didn't. We really were very thoughtful about the time of year and trying to think from a budget standpoint, are we allowing enough time for people to be able to adequately plan for this kind of event and then be able to enjoy it. So that's it. That's all I have for tonight. So I'm going to take a look at comments and just see, and I don't even know that I'll be able to see them all. I may have to see them on playback, but I'm just going to go through really quick and say hello again to everyone. So if you have registered for the meet and greet and you are participating in the chat tonight, just type in like see you in May, just so that we can kind of see how many people. I know Yvonne is here. I know Joshi is here. I know Pauline is here. Rosalind, I think maybe I may be misspeaking, but I thought you were participating next month. There are a couple people that are on here that I thought would be. Carolyn, will you be there next month? Oh, thank you, Rashima. I'm glad you like my channel. Thank you. Hey, Julie. I'm going to watch your latest video as soon as I'm done with live chat tonight. I've not, I saw it, but I've just been busy. And the military mom, I know she's participating in the meet and greet next month. I watched her convertible bags video, but I didn't have an opportunity to chat. I agree with you, Julie. You know, the people, you know, there was, I tell this to my mom and my sister about my nephew and stuff all the time, and y'all know I love him to death, but we are creating a generation of weaklings, like wimpy kids. It just, you know, there was a point in time where kids would fight at school or be bullied, and it was just verbal or pushing or shoving or whatever. But things have gone to the extreme now, and kids have no conflict resolution skills. And the fact that they can hide, just people in general can hide behind a computer screen and spit malicious stuff, right? They're just keyboard thugs. It just drives me crazy. And, you know, as far as YouTube is concerned, it's not about the clicks anymore. You can click on somebody's video a million times, but if you don't watch it, it doesn't mean anything. It's about watch time. And if you have taken enough time to watch a video and then just to spew evil at the end of it, you need to reevaluate why you're on this planet, because you are a miserable person, is how I see it. So if that's all you have to do with your time is sit at home behind a keyboard and spit nasty comments to people that are courageous enough to open themselves up and to share, then I wouldn't want to be in their space, in their skin, living that life for anything, because that has to be a miserable existence. again, if I lose people as a result of this, so be it. It's my channel, it's my opinion, it's my space, and I want to share it with like-minded people. And like-minded doesn't mean that we all think the same way. Like-minded for me is a level of respect, that you respect a person enough to understand that you might disagree, that you don't have to all think the same, you don't have to all believe the same, but you're going to be respectful about it. So all right. The comments. Yep. Cyberbullying. That's exactly what it's called. Yes, red is the new black. Orange is the new black. You pick your, whatever your favorite color is, let that be your new black. And if black is your favorite color, let black be your new black. And that's fine. Whatever you decide to carry, whatever you're comfortable with, then that's on you. And own it. Be comfortable in it. Don't let anyone push you into a different space. I am loving the chat tonight. P-Girl95, yes, it was a more of a blue based pink than a pink. I don't even know how to describe pink. When I think about pink, I think of, don't beat me up over this, but when I think of pink, like powder pink, like little girl pink, I think damsel in distress, like helpless. And that is the farthest thing from me. The cosmetic bag that I'm traveling with right now says, I'm only helpless when my nails are drying. I picked it up from Sephora, and it like speaks to my core. Far from being a feminist, but I believe that women are strong and powerful and beautiful, and that in 2018 or any other year past or future, that we don't have to be damsels in distress. And when I think of pink, I think about just little baby girls that, you know, are new to the world and need somebody to take care of them. And red to me is like, I'm here, now what? Right? You're comfortable in your own. So again, it has nothing to do with those colors. It's just, for me, the way I've segmented them in my mind. But if I see you with a pink bag, I'm not thinking that about you. I'm not thinking that about your bag. I'm just digesting why it isn't for me. It's just my perception of those colors for me. Because trust me, I recently saw a blush colored Flynn bag that I put it in my shopping cart, and there's a Florentine, no, not Florentine, there's an Alto bag. Matter of fact, it's the same bag that I got for my graduation. Have you seen it in blush? It is absolutely stunning. But I don't have anything I can carry with it. And if I have the choice between that bag in red or in blush, it's going to be red all day long. So that's just me. Yeah, I'm not a pink. I'm not a pink. It's just, it's mental for me. It's a beautiful color. But I have told my mom and my sister, and I know they're going to defy me, that if I ever have a little girl, there will be no pink. No pink blankets, no pink socks, no pink dresses, no pink in the nursery. It is not going to be pink. And both of them have said, hell yeah, we're going to just flood everything. Everything's going to be powder pink. So it's just, that's just me. I just am not, it just represents something different for me. And it's everything that I think women have fought to not be and to not be labeled as. And I love to see men in pink, and not for the same reasons that I don't wear it, but that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not going to get into that, but I like to see men in powder pink. which says a lot because I live in Atlanta, y'all. So men in pink can mean a lot of different things. But I just like to see, I like that. My nephew has finally embraced pink, and he's not wearing it like I wear red, but there was a point in time where he was like, oh, pink, that's for girls. And then, you know, understanding Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and, you know, spending some time with some little baby girls in pink, and he now has an appreciation for it even as a teenager, as it just being a color. So he doesn't have the stigma tied to it that I do. All right, y'all, we have been on for almost an hour. Ivana's laughing at my curly Q comment about my hair versus using my bag as an umbrella. You just can never predict the weather in Florida. It will be sunny and it will rain and it will dissipate just as quickly as it went away. So it's just unpredictable. So I know that there are a lot of Apple brand conditioner care users, but I'm curious, not everyone uses Apple, or that you have other brands that you use. So will you just drop a comment and let me know what you're using to condition your bags, if anything? And do you use Scotchgard? And if so, what brand of Scotchgard do you use to you know, keep your bags from having transfer or, you know, water spots and things like that? So let me see those down in the comments, and let's talk through what some of those brands are, where you're finding them. Let's just educate each other on what other alternatives are out there. I'm just going through the comments. The salmon that has been on QVC for the last week, to me, it's not, it's a different color salmon, because the OG salmon is almost a peach color. It's almost peach, as opposed to being pink. No, you can't find a peachy salmon now, but the regular salmon is, or the new version of salmon is on QVC. And then the pre-owned or pre-loved market, whether it's eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, some of the Facebook groups, you may be able to find a peach there. All right, let me getting through the comments, and let's see what we have. So will conditioner change the color of the bag? I've never had the conditioner to change the color of my bag, but again, that's just me. I don't condition every bag. I know that some people do. I have a couple of bags that I probably do need to condition, like that orange. But before I would condition it, I don't know. Dooney says that you don't have to do it. And I know that a leather coat is something different from a leather handbag, in that my coat won't necessarily have the same wear and tear on it that a handbag will have. But I've never conditioned any of my leather coats. Should I? I don't know. They seem to wear fine, but I've never conditioned a leather coat. I've never sent it to the cleaners to have it conditioned, right? So I have mixed feelings about conditioner. If I have a bag that's dry, or if it's a black bag and it's starting to get that white residue build up on it, then yeah, I'll condition it or I'll clean it or whatever. But I'm not, maybe I should be, but I'm not one of those people that condition or clean my bags after every use before I store them. But that's just, again, that's just me. You do what you want to do with your collection, with your bags, but for me, that's what I do or what I don't do. Brittany, congratulations. You're going to be a UCLA graduate mom. That is phenomenal, and I completely understand why you're not going to be in Chicago. You go and celebrate with your baby. Alright, so I see Mrs. Q uses the Apple brand, but she's also used the Dillard's brand and the UGG brand. And in the past has used the Scotch brand as well. And I have UGG brand. I have a Michael Kors cleaner, believe it or not, and Scotch Guard. I have the Kiwi. I have Apple, which I've never used. And believe it or not, this is going to sound weird, but when I purchased my red leather sofa for the basement, the company that I purchased it from actually gave me like tons of bottles of leather cleaner and conditioner. Much like conditioning a leather coat, I've never done. I've never conditioned my leather sofa. But I do have those little bottles of cleaner and conditioner for leather that I've actually used. And I don't know that it has a particular brand name on it. I've never seen it anyplace else. But I think if it's leather, the best thing is just find a little spot, maybe the bottom or the back or the strap. See if how the leather is going to respond to it if you're concerned about it changing the color. And then if it doesn't, start in small spots and move out. And if it does change the color, if it does that evenly, then it just makes your bag more uniquely you, because it's the result of your particular method and choice of conditioner. So all right, we've been on for a little over an hour, and I actually have an empties video for my non-Dooney and Bourke folks that I want to film. And then I picked up a couple of packages, beauty related items that are non-Dooney and Bourke purchases. And I've been doing those in conjunction with the videos, but I noticed that people start dropping off when I start doing that. So I'm going to keep the videos clean. Let this one end, and then I may jump back on and do my empties and some of my more recent beauty purchases. So thank you, Sabrina. All right, y'all, I appreciate you hanging in with me tonight. I absolutely have enjoyed the time. I feel like I have the first part of this video was like confession time. It was like sitting before a priest and just, you know, clearing a space in my spirit, because it just bothers me so much when people don't respect the fact that there are still peaceful spaces and people and places in this world. And I love the fact that my channel represents that. And when I find that people are a threat to that, you gotta go. You gotta go. I will unsubscribe, and if you unsubscribe from me in return, fine. You will not be missed. Let the door hit you where the good Lord split you on your way out. And then there are other people that I have blocked because they just have nasty spirits, and I just don't have space for that. I don't have time for it, and I want to protect this space. So if it's a small mighty group, then I'm fine with that, but I'm not going to allow anyone, when it's within my control, to destroy that vibe on this channel. So thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, I do hope that you find something that feeds your Dooney addiction. Take care.